Alright everyone, here we are with another video with Invest for Tomorrow. Here we are with ticker symbol LAZR, Luminar Technologies Inc. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all the first time viewers and investors. Welcome to the channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all the subscribers, welcome back, and let's jump into this chart. So let's go ahead and see here what Luminar Technologies Inc. is showing us. LAZR stock, and it IPO'd obviously December 3rd, and we're seeing that it's been rising up. It hit highs, right? The hype and speculation of $47, and it's been going back down, and it kind of leveled off back to IPO pricing, and it hit lows here of about $21.84. We're currently sitting at $25.15. So we want to see this closely. We want to see how this is reacting. And we want to pay close attention to the moving average that we have set up here and what's going on, because we're slightly below it, and we've been below it since December 9th. So that's been almost a week now. So let's go ahead and see our new resistance, right? We're going to see our new support. And then after looking at those points, I want us to look at the MACD, because the MACD is telling us what is going to happen next, or it can at least show us the anticipation, right, of what's bound to happen next. So let's go ahead and place these based off of the chart where it's at right now and the 50-day moving average. All right. So I know that a lot of people say, well, it hasn't been 50 days. Well, the moving average adjusts itself according to the days that have been in place, and they use the algorithm of the 50-day moving average to have obviously a calculation of the moving average where it sits. So it's not specifically the 50-day moving average, but it's a moving average as if it was based off the same algorithm. And what they do is they tweak it to fit the amount of days that this stock has been in place. So I want every single investor to be aware of that. And that's why you can see that when it started for a few days, there was no moving average. So it starts, after a couple of days, and then it starts using that algorithm based off of what I've seen here that TradingView does. But I don't like to switch the settings so that we can watch it as if it was the 50-day moving average, as if there was 50 days, right? So it kind of just uses the same algorithm, and it uses the days that the stock is currently, been in place. And you also want to keep in mind that before the stock IPO'd, it hadn't a moving average for the rest of the remainder of the days. It just wasn't on the stock exchange. So I want you guys to kind of have an idea. Like, it had a value before it came to the stock exchange. Some never have been there before, so then the algorithm kind of fixes itself to be adjusted to what the chart is showing us now and what data it has so far. So I don't want anybody to get confused, and I apologize if I kind of rambled on explaining that, but I want people to not be confused, because I've had people, when something is so short of time and it hasn't been showing the charts 50 days, TradingView has an algorithm that adjusts itself to what we're seeing, but I still call it the 50-day moving average because it's the moving average I like to use and I always use to look at charts. So let's see here. The first thing I want to point out is that we're in bearish territory. We've been in bearish territory since the 9th, and I want us to pull up the MACD so that we can see what it's indicating to us. So the first thing is the indication is it's coming back up, right? This is a lot of hype and speculation. It fell down. It was below it for a while. It came almost back up to it. And guess what? It collapsed. It fell back down. So based off the history of the chart, just what we're seeing right now, and this happened in the last couple of days, it came back up and it looked like it was about to cross the midway point. And instead of crossing it, we can see that it fell back down. So we want to watch closely here, these green bars. There's some dark green bars showing up again. So that's a good sign, but if they start getting lighter and lighter and closer to the midway point, this could actually go back in that direction. So we want to watch these lines as well, the blue and yellow lines. And you could see here how it fell right at that point of the midway point. It slightly broke the 50-day moving average. It looked like there was some opportunity, but the stock still needed to break the resistance. It couldn't do that, and it fell down to these lows here of $21 and some change. This is back to IPO pricing. So a lot of people right now, it's not really hype or speculation. It's people seeing this as a discount because like, oh, we're back to IBO pricing. This is an opportunity to get back in. So that's what's going on. So we need to see if people are really seeing this as a discount, which people as investors, and they're watching this closely to get on in even more, and they're going to be able to break their resistance, which we're going to talk about, and the 50-day moving average. And this could be on its way up, and this will actually then in turn go in the other direction as we see here, which is basically breaking through that midway point, right, and getting over it up in this area. And obviously there's going to be a point where it's going to hit its high, or it can come back down and kind of hold itself up, which then we'll see it reflect in the chart, and it'll go back in this direction at some point over time and break through the 50-day moving average, do the staircase effect, and hit newer highs and new resistance levels to reach deeper into bullish territory. But we need to watch closely the MACD. We need to see if it breaks through the 50-day moving average and resistance, if it holds itself up, and so forth. And if it breaks through this midway point, or it'll do something like this and actually fall back down, and then we need to watch it even closer for when the next reversal is going to be, because there will be some type of reversal. I mean, this is a stock that IPO'd. It has potential. It has opportunity. And when you look at the technicals, right, and you see what they're showing, they're one day, only one of them is saying sell, and the other two are saying buy and strong buy. When you go to the 1 week, you're saying buy, buying, strong buy. And when you go to the 1 month, it's saying strong sell. I think that is what's holding back most investors from just jumping in on this, like right away, right? And those are the things that are very important to keep in mind. I don't always use the technicals from TradingView, but it is always good to see something as a point of reference. And the moving averages are the ones showing the most that it's a strong buy. We'll have to see. We have to go ahead and pay close attention to the stock. It could actually go below, right, IPO lows. And the lowest point was 1909. I think that's one of the most important points you want to keep in mind on the support level side. And let's look at our current support. Let's look at our current resistance and 50-day moving average. But I wanted to point out the MACD because the MACD does give you an insight on the potential move, right? If it's going up or back down. Right now, the bulls are doing a good job, even though it doesn't look like it's just running up. They're doing a good job at dominating this and bringing this back up, but they need to continue this green bar effect and get them higher and higher, and especially keep them dark, not lighter. And this blue line and yellow line will have to cross the midway point and end up above it, like we could see here, or we even see here. I mean, this was pretty significant. So let's see here what's going on, what it's showing us, and where we're at, right? So our 50-day moving average is probably going to be the most important point. And remember, I already explained, it's not exactly based off 50 days. The algorithm switch itself to what's going on right now in the chart. But I still call it that because that is the indicator that I use. So here we are. It's 25.76. As long as we're below that, the bears are in control and the bulls are having trouble gaining control. They need to break through that. They need to break through that point. Once they accomplish that, they have a resistance level that's pretty important to break through. And they also have another one up here, which is 29.50. I'd write that down. Super important point in the near term for the next coming days and weeks, according to the volatility of this stock. That's the highest point before this dip. But before we talk about the resistance, I want us to zoom in here on the support. Our support here is 21.81. If that gets broken through, your next point of reference to just kind of skip all these other small numbers in between is down here at 1909, as I stated earlier. Super important point to keep in mind. 1909 if 2181 gets broken through. But before we even worry about 1909, 2181 is the first support to pay close attention to. Watch how the behavior of the stock is reacting. How quickly is it moving to newer lows? And are the bulls even trying to reappear? Because we're already in bearish territory, and breaking through the support just gets us deeper into bearish territory as we see it. And further away from the moving average. So we want to keep that in mind. We're currently at 25.10. We're going to have to see how this continues to play out, obviously. But if it's working its way down back to support, you're going to want to see if the bulls are reappearing, or are the bears tearing this one down to the point that they get to cross this support. Now, on the other hand, we have our resistance. This resistance is 25.98. If 25.98 gets broken through, the bulls have accomplished two things. They got into bullish territory and they broke through the first resistance in bullish territory. So every single investor, once this happens, you're going to want to watch the behavior if the support can be formed here at 25.98. The bulls need to turn that into a support and actually pull away from it significantly and start to work their way up here to this point at the 29 mark dollars, right? Which we talked about earlier. That's the point that the bulls want to really break through to pull away significantly, reach newer highs, get deeper into bullish territory, and leave the 50-day moving average behind. And obviously it's going to start to curvature and catch up to it, but the further away the bulls can pull away from it, the more significant it's going to be for them to have a chance to reach new highs and newer levels of resistance. The last thing I want us to see here as an indicator is the closer moving average, and let's see what that's showing us, because that definitely indicates where this could be going. So right now the bulls are slightly above it. If the bulls can manage to stay above this point here right now in the near term, I mean, after hours it's going to kind of be hard to keep that in mind, but once this continues to play out, if there's not a lot of volatility in these last 3 hours of the market, and tomorrow we start off somewhere close to this or somewhere above it or right there leveled off with it, this point is important. If the bulls can stay above 24.68 and pull away from that, they could be on a track record right here based off of everything that we see and the MACD to form some momentum and continue to pull up. And their two main points would be the 50-day moving average and the resistance. As always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community, and don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watched this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.